pleased to welcome you.
I feel right.
See, it's not so bad.
I'm not sure this is the right place for us.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
This place may be the upside to everything that's happened. The people are kind and generous. They seem wholesome and moral.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to NSS. This is the Reynolds Report. Malcolm McDowell revealed in a recent interview that he got death threats after his villain character, Dr. Tolian Soren, caused the death of Captain Kirk in the 1994 film Star Trek Generations. He was even given police protection when he attended the film's premiere as a result of the backlash. Much to his bemusement, McDowell said it was such a joke, but nobody knew whether to take it seriously because the internet was in its very early days. Michael J. Fox has been public about his nearly 30-year battle with Parkinson's disease. He was on ABC yesterday and talked about his new book, No Time Like the Future.
Looking forward to this. ABC News exclusive actor Michael J. Fox speaking about his new book, No Time Like the Future. I so admire his optimism.
And you're going to love this book. This is vintage Michael J. Fox. It is funny, it is intimate, it's philosophical, and he opens up about this time that tested him in the last couple of years, that really tested his optimism. He got through it with great spirit. From Family Ties...
Well, how do I look?
Middle-aged.
...to Marty McFly...
I need to borrow your hoverboard.
Michael J. Fox has been part of our lives his entire career.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
And now the iconic actor is out with a new memoir, No Time Like the Future. An optimist considers mortality. You may be America's most famous optimist, but when I read this book, which is fantastic, I felt it was like about the testing of an optimist.
Yeah, it was definitely about a crucible that I went through in a really unlikely way.
Fox was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 1991. His trademark humor and optimism have helped him come to terms with the disease.
Everyone knows I have Parkinson's. I've had it for 20-something, 30 years. I don't know, I could stop counting.
More than half your life.
More than half my life. But I was diagnosed at 29 and I'm now 59. And I reached kind of a peace with it, kind of a detente. Like it takes up the space it takes, and it left me room to do other things and thrive and golf and have friendships and travel.
But 2 years ago, another health crisis threatened to leave him paralyzed.
A numbness in my legs and my limbs, and it turned out I had a tumor on my spine.
I remember when you first learned about the tumor and you had to make this decision whether or not to have the surgery. It wasn't really a choice, was it?
They told me that I couldn't reverse any of the neurological damage that had been done, but I could perhaps stop it from progressing. But if failing that, it would progress to the point that I'd be paralyzed. Got the surgery in. And it's been great. It's been difficult. It's difficult to move. I can't golf like I used to, which is terribly. Now I can't even.
You're always a money player, though. You always hit it well off the first tee.
I don't know who it was who said any jerk can hit the second shot.
Fox began 4 months of intense physical therapy to learn to walk again. The worst seemed behind him. Then he returned early from a family vacation to film a cameo in an upcoming Spike Lee film. What happened next led Fox to question everything.
I spent the night by myself in the apartment. It was the first time since I had the surgery. And I got careless and was walking in the hallway and kind of slid into the living room, into the kitchen, I should say, and hit a tile and went down and shattered my arm. So I found myself underneath the phone waiting for the ambulance to come, lying on the floor with my broken arm. And of all things, that was the thing that really set me off.
That's bottom?
That was bottom, because it was so useless. It was so pointless and so stupid, so avoidable, and everything that had happened, that I couldn't say, well, I didn't do anything to cause Parkinson's. I didn't do anything to cause the tumor on my spine. But I did this.
But how could you blame yourself for that?
Well, because everyone's taken abundant caution with me and warned me to be careful. And I have to think before I walk. I can't just get up and go, because I don't always control my momentum and I don't always control my direction. My daughter, Skylar, had come back with me from vacation because she had to go to work the next morning. But she offered to stay over and get me breakfast in the morning. And I said, no, I'll be fine. I know you're worried. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry, don't worry. And the next she hears from me, I'm in the hospital with my arm.
The road to recovery for his broken arm and crushed optimism was tough. But Fox eventually came out the other side, remembering the words of his father-in-law.
He would always say, gets better, kiddo, gets better. The last thing you run out of is the future. And so he lived every day with gratitude. And I realized if there's gratitude, then you can sustain optimism.
You know, Mike doesn't call himself a writer or a philosopher, but he is both, and it really comes through in this book. It is so well written, and it brings you inside what is a very tough time for him. It also tells you what he learned from it. A lot of wisdom there.
Always. And, you know, I mean, and the fact that he didn't share this until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody can read it. The book is out tomorrow. It's called No Time Like the Future. We'll have more of my interview with him tomorrow as well on GMA.
Looking forward to that, George. Thanks for sharing that. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.
It's time for Things I've Learned from Seinfeld.
Listen, your stuff has to be done by now. Why don't you just see if it's dry? Just, you know.
No. Don't interrupt the cycle. The machine is working. It knows what it's doing. Just let it finish.
You're gonna over-dry it.
You can't over-dry.
Why not?
Same reason you can't over-wet. See, once something is wet, it's wet. Same thing with death. Like, once you die, you're dead, right? Let's say you drop dead and I shoot you. You're not gonna die again, you're already dead. You can't over-die, you can't over-dry.
That's it for Things I've Learned from Seinfeld.
Due to his dissatisfaction with Fox News, Trump says he might start his own TV news channel next year. Well, you have to hand it to the guy. He sure loves bankrupting new things. Study claims that coffee preserves good health. So I guess America really does run on Dunkin'. The NCAA says the men's basketball tournament will happen in a bubble in one city, Indianapolis, which ironically has more women named Bubbles than any other city. Actor Ryan Reynolds is now the co-owner of a Welsh soccer team. Wow, I didn't even know Welshland had a professional sports team. Time for Nobody Gives a F***. Desserts have become our go-to stress reliever during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's according to DessertAdvisor.com. I'd like to challenge that conclusion by cross-referencing it with the latest data from BoozeAdvisor.com. Hey, cherry pie. Nobody gives a f***. South Korea has perfected contactless technology in everyday life so much that you can order a burger and fries at a kiosk and it gets delivered to you by a robot. So if you're visiting there and want a Big Mac, better bring your debit card and some WD-40. Hey, Rosie the robot. Nobody gives a f***. And a new airline study says hamsters suffering extreme jet lag show decreased brain functions. I can't take more than 2 ounces of any liquid on a plane with me, but they'll let a hamster on. Hey, rodents, nobody gives a f***. Thanks, everybody. We have a new episode of the Reynolds Report for you every weekday. Be sure to check out NSS Live starring Frank D'Angelo, Tuesdays and Thursdays for NSS Live.